Boom! What up, guys? Mark West is here.
How's it going, y'all?
And it's actually Westberg, correct?
Westberg, yes.
There it is. Awesome, guys. And we're going to start recording in 3, 2, and we're live. Well, you guys know the deal. We're live right off the bat, and then we start recording. What's up, guys? I got Mark Westberg here, finally. After I think about 4 months of conversation, Brittany, thank you for the recommendation out there. So, Mark, what is it that you do? Because personally, I don't know anything from your Instagram. I've seen some modeling.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard you sing, and I know that you are in a couple of little films, and you're trying to get into other stuff, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I've always been kind of a multifaceted artist and also a community worker as well. So, first and foremost, I am a performer, especially in the theatrical and music world. I'm also part of Screen Actors Guild, which is like a film union thing, if you didn't know. And I also do art as well. I draw and paint and employ a lot of different mediums with that. And I do a little bit of modeling occasionally, yes. And I also serve on 2 different organizations locally, Chart Santa Fe and also Santa Fe Human Rights Alliance, which is the group that puts on Pride in the City and other related events.
Right, and from what we were talking about earlier, the Pride event is coming June
25th on the Santa Fe Plaza. Be there, y'all.
It's gonna be good. Every time you go there, there's nothing but good vibes. Honestly, there's nothing but good vibes there. So out of everything that you're doing, is there anything that you lean more to, that you enjoy doing more than anything else?
You know, it's interesting because I feel like for me, it depends on the time in my life. You know, it always kind of fluctuates. You know, I could be focused on one thing more than all the others at one point. Maybe there's 2 different things I'm focused on out of all the things I mentioned. You know, and then of course June's coming up, so you know, Human Rights Alliance and I, we're going to be really hammering down on getting Pride set up, and we're going to have events all month long too because it's Pride Month.
There you go.
So,
Pride Month.
Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, talking about Pride Month and your involvement with it, just for anyone curious out there, are we on the gay side, bisexual side? Just out of curiosity, because I know there's a lot of people asking out there.
Well, where I reside is within the kind of bisexual and pansexual lane, and just recently too, actually, New Year's Eve 2020, I should say, I actually came out as gender fluid, so I kind of have that non-binary thing going on too. And it just made sense for me to finally do. I've never really adhered to one kind of like gender norm or, you know, whatever you want to call it, or, you know, gender expectation, like, oh, you're supposed to do this when you're a guy or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. So
yeah, no, I know how it leans more to one side. You're supposed to carry out the traits of, you know, guys 100 years ago. It's complete bullshit. So I totally get it. Good for you. I'm glad we know that. So going into the local part of you right now, are you born here? Did you move here with your family? What's the story on that?
You know, okay, so I was born in a distant time period called 1991 in Seattle, Washington, originally.
Really? I want to move there.
It's pretty interesting. You know, it's its own kind of utopia, like Santa Fe is, but with more water.
Yeah, which is why I want to go there. It's always raining, right?
They actually have gotten a lot of rain recently. I don't know what's going on there right now at this moment, but
gotta go back.
I grew up there, graduated high school there, and then this is where Santa Fe kind of comes into play. I came here for college. At what used to be Santa Fe University of Art and Design, which was previously College of Santa Fe. And I did graduate from there back in 2014.
Oh, damn. That's what's up, man. Good for you. I'm jealous. I thought about going into there, but oh my God, just the end pay. I was going to be like paying it until I was, you know, whatever age. But there's loopholes. There's, you know, things that you can do, which, you know, is very smart. I just wasn't smart enough to do it. whatever. So within the time that you were at that school, what was it that you focused on mostly? Because I know you do a range of things, and that school offered a large range of things. What was the core activities that you did over at that college?
Well, as far as core being, I guess, what my major was, I went there first and foremost for theater performance. But because the school was not necessarily like a conservatory, we were not constricted to our departments.
Good.
So I ended up, especially when I wasn't cast in a show at the theater, I would go and do other projects. I'd get involved in music. I'd get involved in doing people's film projects there. I modeled for some of the photography students. I did a lot of different things. And, you know, I learned actually a hell of a lot more than I think I would have if I had been constricted to just my major.
Right,
You know, they really encouraged, you know, people kind of expanding the mind and, venturing out and everything. So
yeah. It's not like high school where it was just like, okay, you can be in drama and band, but you couldn't be in choir, you couldn't be in orchestra. Yeah, fuck you for that ruling. But I'm happy that you did that, thankfully. Graduated in 2014. And what have you been doing since then?
Quite a bit. You know, I've been involved with the Pride organization for a while.
Cool.
And then Chart, which is kind of this group that facilitates dialogue surrounding a plethora of important issues and everything like that. And it kind of plays within the ball field of legislation a little bit. That's a more recent thing. But since 2014, I've been doing multiple shows around town. I've been working musically with many different types of people.
That's good.
And then doing a bunch of solo projects as well. And I remember there was a cool thing I did, actually. There was one holiday season, I was one of the actors at Meow Wolf throughout the exhibits and everything. That was fun.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
okay.
That was a really fun time.
Well, a lot of people didn't actually know that you were real people a lot of the times. Because when I went, I saw so many moving figures. I was like, what the hell? You were probably one of them. And I had no idea.
And let me tell you, it's one of the funnest places if a customer's having a bad day, because you'll get somebody who goes, well, all right, and you're just kind of like, oh, really? You're having a bad day? Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
you can't amp it up by nature of the job. You know?
I know, and you bring that out of them. You give them that good day. I remember a lot of good times. How do I ask this? When I went, there was a woman singing in the tub in the shower upstairs. Do you remember her? She would do opera. That was
I think I do remember this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was an experience, man. I wish I saw a little bit more of you out there. But whatever. Hopefully in the future there might be a little bit of a show that you're going to be a part of. So talking about the projects that you've been a part of, what are some that we can watch? Are there any platforms out there that we can watch any of the projects that you've been a part of? Or that you have been doing? Well,
there's as far as projects you can listen to. I have a bunch of my music out there. You can find me, Mark 𝕎𝕤𝕦𝕓𝕗, on Spotify, and then my website is www.marksmusicnebula.com, and that's on Squarespace. And I also have my Instagrams, Marksmusicnebula and the Mark 𝕎𝕤𝕦𝕓 Experience.
Those are the two separate accounts, right?
Yeah, two separate accounts.
Got you. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a third one that I saw. It was Raven?
That's just like a little account for my band back in Seattle called Black Jupiter and the Raven. Hi, Alex Miles. That's my bro and bandmate.
That's what's up. Thanks for attending, bro. Hell yeah.
Alex Miles, Zach Bainter, and Sam Sanfilippo.
Shout out to you guys. Hell yeah.
Good mates.
So the music that you have with the Black Moon, can we be listening to any of that?
You can, yeah. I actually, I can't remember the exact name of the YouTube account right offhand at the moment.
Okay. Well, we can definitely add it in the description.
I think it's called like Jupiter Raven something.
Okay.
Yeah, Jupiter Raven, and that's actually in part the name of the Instagram account for that as well, Jupiter Raven 1845.
Check it out. If you guys didn't hear that, just go ahead and rewind.
Yeah, just go ahead and rewind.
That's what's up. I had no idea that you were in a band. But then again, there's a lot about you that I don't know. So that's really dope. So with the music that you have with that band, and the movies that you've or films that you have been a part of, and the music that you've done yourself, let's go into the music that you have done. So, what how do I say this? What is the best way to describe somebody? What type of genre that you're into?
Well, I'm very experimental, especially when I'm playing with bands and everything. I'm always down to work with any kind of genre, style, subculture, whatever you want to call it. Different kinds of instrumentalists. And then when I'm solo, it's a little bit more narrowed down for me. I do a lot of folk punk music, rock and roll, acoustic grunge sounding stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And blues rock,
And you said we can be listening to all of that on Spotify and SoundCloud.
I don't really have a SoundCloud actually, but Spotify is one, YouTube Music is one.
There we go.
Pandora, I know it's on, and then YouTube Music kind of has it as well.
Okay.
And those are just a few.
What's the recording process for you? Are you recording it yourself, or do you have somebody helping you that we might want to shout out?
Actually, let's shout out, he was on my Starseed Phantoms album. Danny Duran was the one who recorded that one with me out at his place at D7 Productions.
Shout out D7 Productions, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of go back and forth between like having people help me with studio stuff and then just doing it myself at my house. The last 2 singles I recorded recently were actually at my place. So I just did all that myself. Mm-hmm. And
sometimes the best way to do it.
And I kind of just, a lot of my process when I'm doing it by myself is I have this very like pick a direction and go kind of mentality after setting up the studio and everything. I kind of decide, okay, what am I going to do first here? And then I do something and I go, okay, so what might I want to change, add, subtract, like see, like, and then sometimes it's just a very spontaneous idea where like, I'm hearing it, that's it, and then I'll do it.
Yeah, that's magic right there. Oh, I know that feeling. My goodness.
I love it.
Really quick though, because I told you that in the first section, I got to go through everything about you. Well, you're not a local. That's the funny thing. You came to the college around what year?
2010 in the fall.
And then 4 years at the college. Got you. Okay. And really quick, going back to your childhood, any brothers, sisters, siblings? Well,
my cats.
Yeah, your cats. Oh, I love
I'm an only child, but
okay. Did you want a brother or sister growing up? How was that?
I've tossed the idea around back and forth in my brain
really?
about what that would be like, but I've always just kind of come to the conclusion that, the world doesn't need more than one me.
Yeah. Mark Westberg 1 is good enough.
Mark Westberg 1 is
I don't think the world is big enough for both of you for a second one, okay? Let's keep it that way.
Not enough room for my chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I'm barely realizing the chaos, especially downtown on a Friday night, Saturday night. If you see him, give him a hug. Say what's up. Seriously, great guy.
Open arms.
So when you moved here in 2010, you moved here by yourself or with your family?
I actually moved here with my family, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, they live here now too.
That's awesome.
They just kind of, call it the Land of Enchantment, right? But enchanting entrapment, mind you. But they just kind of fell in love with the area. And, plus Seattle's just been kind of, it's still a cool place and everything, but it's been getting way harder to live in right now. Very expensive, gentrification's been getting kind of bad and everything. So
gentrification?
Just like when people,
come out about themselves.
Well, like just when people like who've been there for a while, and especially like, people like in certain financial areas or like people of color or whatever get pushed out of neighborhoods and
okay, so I was that's a little bit of a bitch move. God damn it, Seattle. I thought you guys were cool. At least New Mexico, is absolutely loving. We have a little bit of everything to appreciate, thankfully. So since 2010, what are the friends you've made, the correlations you've created with other artists? What's the story on your circle since being here?
It's pretty multifaceted and pretty colorful, honestly.
That's awesome.
I have a lot of circles, and sometimes they combine each other and all that too at times, but I have a great circle of friends in the theater community here. I've gained some from doing music as well. And then definitely from doing people's film projects. And then, of course, there's serving on HRA and Chart. I've garnered up a really beautiful group of friends there.
That's awesome.
So and then even just, and even outside of just the professional and artistic stuff, just by hanging out in town and simply just being in the community and, having a good time.
Right, exactly.
And then you have the lingering folks from the college who decided to stay here.
They're like, you know what? I kind of like it. I'm used to it. I'm gonna chill.
This is kind of nice.
And then, 20 years later, they're still here.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, let's see how longer I stay here.
We're 40 now? Like
what? What happened to the last 10 years, bro? Yeah. Do you plan on staying here, or are you planning on moving out?
I really enjoy this place, and I think my prediction is even if I do go somewhere else in the future, and there is a pretty big chance I will, I definitely will always have a piece of my soul and heart here.
Yeah, definitely.
It's never going to go away. I'm always going to come back and, say, hey, what's up?
And you're going to be having that same welcoming greeting as soon as you come back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially if you make your stamp right away.
Oh, yeah. I hope I have that same.
Not right away, but I mean, you're in the running for it. So that's really awesome. Going back to your performing, you said you performed at a couple places. Where are these places that you've been at?
Yeah, and this is going to go back and forth between like theater and music, but
totally fine.
Santa Fe Playhouse, Oasis Theater. I've got a couple of shows coming up at Teatro Paraguas. Which is really cool. I've performed music over at Desert Dogs Brewery, which is a really fun spot. Come to karaoke on Thursdays.
Oh shit! And that's actually where I finally had a conversation with you.
Yeah, that's where we met physically.
Yeah, I was just like, I know you from where? I don't know, but hi. I was just like, yes, this is my guy. That's how I knew that I liked you. I was just like, immediate connection. Awesome. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah. And then there's a place across the street from that actually called the Apothecary. It's that oxygen bar looking place. I've done music there.
I didn't know they had performers.
And then also, when Warehouse 21 was opened, I was there.
Ooh,
God, I miss that place.
You and me both.
And I keep hearing like things on and off about it, like, oh yeah, so and so's got a hold of it now. Then they're gonna do something, and then 2 weeks later, it's dead again.
Nothing, yeah. So, a church rents out the second floor. Is that right?
That's what I heard, but I can neither confirm or deny it. So.
I really just want to walk in there and just ask, why don't I? I'm busy. Whatever. Anyways, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we have reached the ending of our podcast with Mr. Mark 𝕎𝕤𝕥𝕓𝕖𝕣𝕘, part 1, if I didn't say that already. We will be right back with a part 2, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Awesome! And part 1 is done, bro.
That was fun.
And now, keep in mind, we got viewers. What's up, guys? Don't be shy with our viewers.
Hold on a second. Let's see what we got here. I don't know.
What are the comments?
I don't know. I'm trying to make sure to not this one. Woo! Here we go. Okay.
It's a tight spot. Tiny house.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people joining so far. I'm not really seeing any comments at the moment.
Well, hello, people. Human beings.
Or what's the little box with the question mark on it?
Or
talking bubble.
With the question mark.
There's a little symbol shaped like a talk bubble at the bottom of the screen, and then a question mark in the middle of it.
Huh. I'm not sure.
Maybe that's where they're commenting.
I'm just gonna fix this real quick so we can get back onto part 2, where we're gonna start talking about your art, my dude.
Cool.
We're going to get into a couple little details here and there.
Mm.
Part 2. Come on. There you are. So, yeah, man. Part 1, pretty chill. I didn't even know that you were from Seattle. That blows my mind.
Yeah. No, I don't think I ever did tell you about that.
I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie.
It was a great place, but, my time kind of, came, and I just had to,
You have to take advantage of what you can get. I know. Yeah. So, you ready for part 2?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for part 2? Awesome. Yeah, that's what I heard in my head. I was like, awesome, okay. Well, just as long as I get 3 yeses, I will be satisfied. What's up, guys? It's Taylor Talks and back with part 2 of our podcast with Mr. Mark 𝕎𝕤𝕤𝕓𝕖𝕣𝕘. Hey. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
So, something that I want to get into, always getting into in part number 2 of the podcast, is really more about the artisan version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So we know that you are in a band in Seattle. Mm-hmm. We know that you are an actor. You are a model. You do drawing and painting, correct? Mm-hmm. And for those of you that don't know, go back to podcast number 1 where we shouted out all the platforms that you could be watching this guy. We'll mention it again at the end of this. But really what I want to be asking is, what brought you into art in the first place? What was the first...
Oh, wow.
Artistic thing that you did. I think that's the best way I can explain it.
Well, first of all, I grew up in a pretty artistic and performance-heavy family.
Oh, awesome.
And I was named actually after somebody who they performed with, who was unfortunately a victim to the AIDS epidemic back in the 80s. Whose name was also Mark, obviously. And so that was, there's that detail. And then, but they've always performed in their lives. My dad directed shows, acted, and also did makeup art as well. My mother acts, danced, did singing.
Wow.
She was on the radio as a child. So it's a pretty heavy background, and even going back to, some of my Italian family heritage, my great-grandfather Giovanni 𝕬𝕗𝕬𝕗,
that's a beautiful name.
Yeah, seriously. He was a very fine operatic tenor back in the day.
Ooh. So you basically just have talent running in your blood. You barely had to do anything. Pick up a guitar and...
I wouldn't... I still love to learn things and, work hard, but,
right.
That passion is definitely there, and it's something that I'm, very proud to cultivate.
That's what's up.
And also to, just art in general is an entire umbrella that, encompasses all artistic things.
Right.
It's always just kind of been like a therapy for me, and... I don't think I've mentioned this to you yet personally, but I am actually on the autism spectrum. So forever, that's just kind of served as this, wonderful piece of therapy for me that's, really helped me kind of make sense out of the world and connect with it better and,
help you connect and learn and adapt to it.
Feel like I have a place and, just... not being afraid of living, the authentic truth basically, or whatever that means for me at least. So
yeah, I think of a meaning right away, but it's probably completely different from, well, not completely, but it is different from yours. It's completely different from whatever anybody else would think. It's how do you say it? To take into your own interpretation, right? Something like that. Whatever.
Yes.
No, but I definitely do love it. But going back into your childhood, which was super artsy, do you remember the first thing that you, how do I explain it, that you were involved in? Because your dad was in movies, he did a lot of makeup.
Well, mainly more in theater, yeah.
Yeah, did he take you anywhere that's your first memory of wow, that's an amazing film, that's an amazing dress, those are some great moves? You know what I mean? Like, what's the first art?
Well,
memory?
he's always exposed me, and my mother too. Excuse me. They've always exposed me to like a lot of different types of music, and they took me to see theater. Don't ask me what my first theater production I ever saw in my life
That's what I'm trying to get to. What is the first?
But, oh God,
Earliest.
I
I'll
do
take that.
I do have an answer for you as far as my first professional show I was in.
Okay. I wanna hear that.
So, and you're gonna love this. So, my dad, this was like 2002 or something like that. He directed out at a place called, it was a big outdoor theater called Snoqualmie Falls Forest Theater. He did the show You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Oh.
Guess who played Woodstock, Snoopy's friend? I was this little Mark Westberg running around in a little yellow bird costume with a giant cartoony ticket sign.
Is there a video of this?
Oh, it's on a DVD somewhere.
Somewhere. Oh my
Someday
God.
I will release that.
There's going to be people asking about it. You have to one day. You're going to be like,
Yes.
for everyone that's asked, here, enjoy.
The public archives.
Oh my God, I love that. So that's the first professional one that you were a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the second?
The second one, that was, I think that was, yes, it was Wizard of Oz. I was the mayor of Munchkinland in that.
What? Oh, okay. I had to actually think about it.
It's mayor of the Munchkin City, that way, yeah.
I love that. How old were you when you did that?
I was 11, I believe.
Wow.
Yes.
Congrats, dude. I'm a little jealous, my God. I mean, I got into art a little bit late, so that's the only reason I say that. But whatever. So with the performing, amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
What about the music? Do you remember the first song you wrote?
Oh, the first song I wrote. One of the first ones, one of the very first and early ones I ever wrote, and actually, and this is actually one that's had like so many different like levels of construction on it, but you know, until I finally got to the main thing. And this is actually a song off of Starseed Phantoms. It's a song called Paralyzed. I wrote it about having sleep paralysis.
That's something a lot of us can relate to.
Oh yeah.
And that one is on Spotify?
Yep, that's on Spotify.
There you go, Paralyzed.
Paralyzed, yes.
Without the D.
Oh no, it's with the D, Paralyzed.
Okay, gotcha, I just wanted to make sure.
Paralyzed with an I, actually.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. And when you wrote that song, you know, being about dementia and whatnot, how old were you?
I started working on that around when I was 16, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, okay. And you recorded that by yourself?
I recorded that with Danny Duran.
Danny Duran.
And that was back in, when I finally recorded that professionally for myself, that was back in 2016.
Oh, sweet.
A fine year.
Fine year. Oh my God. A beautiful year. What was I doing? I was getting my heart broken. Let's not go there. Anyways.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. we are going to go through it. So we covered the beginning of your acting. We've talked about the beginning of your music. We've talked about the band that you're in. What about the first piece, the first painting or drawing?
Oh wow. Well, see, I've always had a habit for drawing since I was a kid. I would say the first real, I guess, quote unquote, kind of professional piece I ever did, or one that I could call professional for myself.
Okay.
That was actually it was a piece that was inspired by the song Paralyzed.
Oh, nice.
And it's this wild kind of abstracty thing of like a very crazy, creepy, swoopy creature with eyes looking down at this kid that's being held in this creature's claw, and the claw is like swooping up, and the nails come out, and it's
I like that. So
very colorful.
So basically, you were holding what you feel into that picture that you're drawing.
I would say, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's the drawing that you did, correct?
It was, at the time, it was a drawing, yes.
And you've painted over it?
I didn't paint over that one, but I did do another version of it. It was a little bit smaller, and that was an oil pastel piece.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so you're basically a Mark of all trades, Mark.
Get it?
Of multiple things, and basically anything you do, you just have. Let's see. So we've gone over the music, the acting, the painting, now photography. What led you into being a model? Like, what sparked that for you?
You know, being photogenic is way too much fun. I gotta tell you.
Because as soon as you take it, you're like, oh, that looks good. Get another one.
But right.
Yeah, I know.
600 more. You know.
Yeah, let's see. And then you pick out just two.
Yeah.
Favorite two. You just blast them everywhere. My goodness.
But I've also been into fashion for years, and I love representing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I mean, there are people who say, "Oh, well, you know, you don't really express yourself with how you look," and you know, I take a good picture and I just say, "Oh, yes, I do."
Yes, you do. Yep. The hell with whatever they say. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It has no meaning on that, or no weight on you. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all the music, with all the art that you're involved in right now, is there an end goal for you? Like, say, within the next 10 years, where are you going to be?
Well,
because I know you were saying, like, it depends on where you are in life. 2 years of making music and an EP, and then after that, you're like, I want to stop with music and I want to work on this.
Mm-hmm.
But in your personal opinion, in 10 years, what are you going to be most renowned for?
Well, in the words of David Bowie, I don't know where I'm going, but I promise it won't be boring.
I like that.
You know, yeah, I have kind of like preliminary ideas of where I want to go, but I'm also just kind of fascinated with the unknown too, because you never know. You know, you might have goals at one point, but it might end up another way, maybe even for the better than what you thought previously.
Right.
But as far as preliminary kind of goals go, I definitely want to be acting professionally, like more professional than I am now currently, and do it way more often.
See you on Netflix, be like, oh, this is Mark.
Yeah, exactly. Like do more projects like that.
That'd be awesome.
And really move up that kind of like film ladder and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, you definitely started it. You're definitely higher than a lot of other people out there, so just
I try.
Continue climbing, that's it.
And definitely, thank you. And I definitely want to be in more bands in the future.
That'd be sweet.
Because I've been doing so much solo stuff, and it's interesting about New Mexico. It's so hard to find bassists and drummers here. You know,
drummers, yes. Bassists, they're like a little higher than the drummer, but the drummers are a rare species.
Yeah,
you gotta go hunting for those fuckers. I swear.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
I know what you mean.
I want to do that, and I also want to, especially depending on where I end up, I could be out of the country at some point. I could still be here, maybe somewhere else within the country. But I want to find even more ways to get involved locally with the community as far as activism goes, which, we really need in this time period right now. Get out and vote, y'all. I'm just kind of going down the list in my head really quickly.
That's fine.
And I definitely want to be doing more professional modeling as well. That's definitely... And get into more galleries as well.
That would be nice, yeah.
And it's actually cool because there's... crossing my fingers for this, there is a gallery out in Madrid right now called Roadrunner that's going to be taking a look at my work. So...
Nice. Okay.
That would be a really exciting thing for me because, especially when you're a young artist here... who doesn't do a lot of like the traditional Southwest kind of looking stuff, it's hard to get into a gallery,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Very hard. So
every time I think about like the normal art, I always think of Tony 𝕤𝕤𝕘. Do you know him?
It sounds familiar. I think I've heard the name.
Gorgeous painter. Paintings. The man is gorgeous too. If you watch this, Tony, shout out to you, man. But yeah, no, I understand where you have to look for a gallery that would suit you, or that you would suit them. So I'm glad that Roadrunner definitely have that they found you. That's really nice.
Yes.
Any of the pieces that you might be putting into the gallery, can we see on any of your social media platforms?
You can. They're on my. Well, actually, a lot more of the art stuff I do is on the Mark 𝕎𝕤𝕤𝕘 experience part of Instagram.
Okay.
And then also on my website too, www.marksmusicnebula.com.
There you go.
There's all of my pieces are on there, so definitely get on there and check.
And since we're talking about your platforms, the one for your band, Black Moon...
Black Jupiter and the Raven.
Black Jupiter. I said Moon in the other part. My apologies.
It's a cool name too.
I think it's a gorgeous name, honestly. Black Jupiter. Just hearing it. Whatever, just repeating it. So thank you for all the platforms. And so in the next 10 years, of course, you're going to be more into acting. You're going to be doing your modeling. You're going to be involved with the community. And I know I already asked this, but I asked, do you plan on moving anywhere? I know I asked.
Yeah, well...
What's the plan?
It's... depending on how, situations in the country transpire down the road, I definitely am looking at different places. For example, like Iceland was a possible choice.
Oh, nice.
Maybe somewhere in the Netherlands, someplace in Canada, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even looked at Spain, actually.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Spain.
Which I'm traveling to in the fall, so that's going to be awesome, yeah.
I'm a little jealous. Hell yeah.
They do great Italian food there, I gotta tell you.
Safe travels. Enjoy yourself.
Yes.
And really quick, I do want to ask about what is your end goal with your music specifically, or even your art? What are you trying to put out there? What are you trying to give someone an emotion of?
I think just...
Or it could just be a representation of yourself and you're just putting it out there in the world. We don't have to complicate it that much.
Yeah, I've had, I think, throughout my own, artistic journey so far, I think I've had, multiple versions of myself I've been willing to kind of put out there. But I think, the simplest kind of answer I could give you here is just to remind people that it's okay to really, it's not just about being an artist, but about living in an authentic experience, an authentic truth. And no matter who you are, because, I remember, ableism is a real thing in our country, and so is, all of the anti-LGBTQIA stuff.
Ableism, sorry to interrupt, but I don't know what ableism is.
It's like discrimination against people with disabilities, either mental or physical.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I grew up experiencing both of those kind of things, and, at times just being made to feel that my voice and what I had to say wasn't worthy enough because it wasn't always immediately understood. And, I just want people to understand through what I do, or be encouraged and inspired through what I do, to know that they can do that too. They can, come up with their own voice and, not always have to worry about being understood all the time, and that's okay.
I like that.
So for anybody out there, who may still be struggling with that today as an artist, or whatever you do in your life, you're going to be okay. Keep doing it. Okay.
And before we get off, I always like to ask, tattoos, man. Tattoos, do we got any going on?
No, actually,
none.
Believe it or not,
My
none.
Goodness, this guy. But I do remember we were having a conversation about it, but you don't have you're very decisive as to what tattoos to get because of the fact that you're an actor. Mm-hmm. And you always want to be ready for any role. You always want to be able to fit whatever actor personality that you would be asked to portray. So I definitely understand why you would not get that. If you did get a tattoo, what would it be? It has to be on the butt, right? I was telling him one day he's going to be on a film and there's going to be a scene where he walks across the camera naked and everybody's going to see that tattoo on his butt. That's Mark's butt.
I don't know, I kind of like the idea of some really cool, colorful looking dragon or something.
Nice.
Maybe with a cat's face or something.
A dragon with a cat's face.
Yeah, just
that would actually be pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
I do like that. Holy hell! Well, when you do, make sure to post it out there because we want to see it. Okay. And other than that, what else is with the jewelry? Because I always see those rings, beautiful fucking rings.
Thank you.
What's the story on all your jewelry, my dude?
It's funny. I actually, if I may, I've got meanings for each of these.
Nice. Let them see the.
All right, so
rings. Hell yeah.
I gotta show them the skull ring without flipping them off accidentally.
They love it.
But this one is a skull being held together by its hands, and this one, because I have been, I've never actually attempted it, but I have been suicidal in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And have had some close calls, and this is just kind of one that reminds me, hey, like, you can keep holding on to this, Mark, you've still got things to do. This other one is an eye with a snake around it.
Pretty.
And this is basically to remind me that, you could trust people at the surface, but always be careful with your trust that you expend, because people can be snakes and it goes over your head and you never notice it.
Oh my God. That's a good one.
This one is a footprint with a little bit of turquoise on it. And that's basically to remind me that I always have a place here, even though you have those kind of people with the attitude of, oh, well, you're not really from here, gringo. You don't really belong here.
Gringo, I like that.
And then this one,
you're right.
This is a gold one with a little bit of blue on it. That's basically just to remind me that even when you might be swimming around in the blues, get it? There's always going to be a lot more to look forward to around that in the golden area. And then this one, it's a little silver ring. You may not be able to see. It's got a little cannabis leaf engraved in there. That's just to remind me how much cannabis has saved my life.
Yeah, it's calmed you down. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's definitely a medicine. A lot of people out there would say it's a drug, but it depends on what you classify as a drug. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like psilocybin? Is that a drug? Argue with me.
Or is it
Yeah, or is it medicine?
Is it just a stimulant? Is there a difference between that and a drug?
Yeah, exactly. So it's really just about what the benefit is. But before we get off of this podcast, is there anything else you want to tell the folks? We could just say love you, bye. I'm just curious. Any other last minute requests, shout outs, information? Like, is there anything coming up that we could be looking forward to?
Yes, actually. So June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I've got a show at Teatro Paraguas in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's going to be really awesome. Directed by the one and only Charles Tishner. That's going to be really cool. And May 21st, this Saturday at the Santa Fe Outlet Malls for the Theater Walk this year, I will be in a cool vampire comedy called Necking. And that will be directed by Ron Bloomberg, who has a ton of different credits in the television world. Yeah, Ron Bloomberg.
That name strikes such a memory. I can't put my finger on it. That's curious. I like that. Holy hell. Well, guys...
Love you, bye.
Check it out, okay? Love you, bye. Oh, that's sweet, man. Hell yeah. Dude, hell fucking yes.
That was great.
Yeah. And then, all right, so before we stop recording, come over here, buddy. Mm-hmm. So your name is going to be right in the center. It's going to be right here. So basically, we got to be oh shit. I love it. Fuck yeah. Later, dudes. Thanks for tuning in.